Lauren, 90 Day, they brought it. The good, the bad, the ugly, the secrets, the fashion. I was flip-flopping all over the place. Like I'd be on one person's team 1 minute. The next minute I was on somebody else's.
No, I was Team Madeleine all the way. 90 Day, the other way. Season 7, episode.
It's 21. It's 21, Lauren. Get with the program.
21. Tell all part 1. Let's watch.
Remote reality, yeah, that's the key. Unlocking stories wild and free. With the host, side by side. Channel surfers, let's ride.
Hey, Channel Surfers. Welcome to Remote Reality. I'm Lauren, your friend and attorney host who loves to overanalyze everything, including our favorite reality TV shows.
And I'm Dee, her paralegal and smart-ass sidekick and co-host.
And today we are watching 90 Day the Other Way, Tell All Part 1. This was so good.
It was really good.
Before we get into it, thank you for subscribing. If you are new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. I'm going to put a link on YouTube, on Apple Podcast. Give us a 5-star review. Talk to us in the comments. So we're in New York City. Let's start with those entrances. Manon and Anthony, what stood out to you?
She went and got in the vehicle and he was carrying everything.
It's usually me when we're packing because otherwise we'd never make it out the door. So he was supporting her, carrying her luggage in. She keeps saying, Anthony needs to support me.
The other thing that I noticed is he does not have a mustache anymore.
He doesn't. I'm just glad he still has the shorter hair.
Yes.
I think he's fine with her without the mustache.
I liked him better with it. There's just some men need some facial hair. I think he's one of them.
I was a fan of Minot's outfit coming in. She had this jean jacket and jean skirt. Usually, I would call that a Canadian tuxedo. But today, I thought it was very chic.
Yeah, it looked really good on her.
I do like her new haircut, the short bob. Very flattering.
Yeah.
She asked him if he's going to have her back. And she's like, that's fine. I'll have my own back.
Or
I don't agree with how Manon acted in this episode. There were some very concerning, abusive behaviors, but she's had enough. Where does that come from? Anthony wanted Manon to be able to spend more time with her kid. We hear her echo this guilt for being a working woman, this perfect image, perfect wife. That is from Anthony's perspective. In the opening, we hear Anthony saying that they've accomplished what they wanted to accomplish in France, but they're still having problems, which is super confusing. How have they accomplished what they want to accomplish? Greta, we see Greta at a vegan restaurant eating this vegan burger. It looks like it has vegan mayo and vegan cheese on it. She is nervous about seeing Matthew, but she's even more nervous about the cast. I thought it was interesting that she said her relationship is probably healthier. Also, from Matthew's side,
probably not.
Was he thinking it was healthy? Luke, he's rolling in big pimpins. He's back in the States, no ring. Long story. Greta's worried about him. She feels like he was taken advantage of. Chloe.
Yep.
We see her tossing her hair, which it looks great. Look, we said, I think the very first episode that she needed a keratin treatment. We're beach girls. We live at the coast. I knew that going from Boston to a humid coastal region, it's disastrous.
She was like, if he comes for me, that's fine. I've got some bombs I can drop myself.
Johny coming in the door, she's doing this like little dance when she walks in. Then she sits down on an armchair and she says she feels like a queen. Last but not least, Pattiya. She says that she and Dylan have had a lot of roller coasters, jealousy, that without trust, there can't be a relationship. Pattiya's ready to fight. She's coming in. She's putting up her fists. Whoever's coming for her, she's singing back. Very cute. She had on these leather gauchos with slits up the front. A lot of them, I'm telling you, they were serving fashion. They were keeping us fed, this whole cast. Speaking of fashion, let's go ahead and jump into our best dressed, worst dressed for the tell-all. Start with the ladies.
I liked Pattiya's. She looked amazing.
My favorite was Madeleine. That outfit fit her like a glove. Her boobs look great.
She looked prettier in this episode than she has the whole season. I hate to say it because I really like her, but Jenny did not bring it at all. All of the other women were very formal and she walked in pajamas. It's not pajamas that she's wearing, but I'm just saying compared to what the other women are wearing, she might as well have walked in pajamas.
You know, I don't disagree. Sorry, Jenny.
We love you, Jenny. Luke did look pretty good once he took the fur coat off.
Okay, I'm not a fan of turtlenecks.
I thought it was interesting that he also matched Chloe's dress almost perfectly.
Dylan's hair looked great. Johny, he had on this dark blue button-down shirt and he had it unbuttoned some. But I'm going to go Johny. He looked good in that shirt. How about the worst dress for the guys?
I hate to say it, but it's got to be Matthew. I was not digging the sweater at all.
I agree.
Poor guy.
He has on this cable knit green sweater and khakis. they're not fitting well on him either. I see a lot of people talking about what Manon is wearing. Not fans. She looked like she was uncomfortable in it. She kept pulling at it a lot.
Yeah, I was uncomfortable watching her in it, so I just wanted to itch or something.
I like the concept of it, not the execution, if that makes sense.
It was a good color for her, though.
It was.
I thought the color looked really good on her.
One thing I did notice, her tattoos shows she had one of Medusa, and then the other arm, I think it's Mark Antony, because it looks like an Egyptian statue. Channel surfers, do you know who that was?
Could it have been her husband, Anthony?
No, it was like a Egyptian head, like a statue.
Since it had Anthony, I thought it had something to do with him.
That's breaking the rule. You get someone's name tattooed.
Yeah.
You're doomed.
Yeah, you never tattoo names, ever.
Sumit and Johny, they had matching hair.
I like that they curled her hair, too. She always has it straight, kind of stringy looking, and it looks so good on her.
I wish they would have brushed the curls out, though. They look straight off the iron to me. Greta, she looked like she was wearing something from the Grandma Club. It looked like something Grandma would wear to a wedding with her hose and pointy orthopedic shoes. It was giving Grandma.
She does have bangs now, too.
If we have to go between Greta and Matthew, Greta was the best dressed of that couple, or former couple. So everybody's getting ready to go on stage. Johny and Pattiya are bonding over their shared in-law drama. Johny agrees with Pattiya. It's a problem if your mother is calling you 4 times a day. That's toxic.
I don't know. He says it's not 4 times a day. Every time they've talked about it in this season, he's like, it's not that much, because she always says 4 and 5 times.
I hope she brings receipt.
Yeah.
Pattiya says there's not any boundaries, and Johny thinks that's a huge problem. This is the room I would want to be getting ready in.
For sure.
So is my tell-all speed. Manon and Anthony are sitting on the couch, and Anthony says, it's a storm, and that makes him a storm chaser.
These two have gotten into something before this show. Something is definitely going on between the two of them. She is not a happy camper. She's not in a good mood.
He's doing it just to get under her skin. He gets this little smile after he says it.
Well, it's working.
2 wrongs do not make a right. But I didn't like it. We've got Chloe, Manon, and Anthony sitting on the couch. Anthony's ready to come for Johny if Manon doesn't get to him first. Chloe lives on the haters. I feel it, Chloe.
Yes. I own that shit, and I don't care.
It don't bother us. We're not everybody's shot of whiskey, and we're here doing it for fun. What Chloe's hearing is that she looks like a Labubu doll. And if you're on YouTube, I have to share this because it's hilarious.
I didn't even know what it was.
So Labubus, they're these little dolls that are all the rage.
It's so cute.
It's all the rage with kids.
I think it's cute. I don't think it's mean.
I think she kind of looks like this Labubu.
Yeah, she should take it as a compliment.
So Johny walks in. Manon, she's like, I'm such a big fan. Give me a hug. Johny looks like she gives great hugs. She hugs everybody in the room. Manon asks, is there anybody that you're not looking forward to seeing? Chloe takes a stab at Madelein right from the jump. She says, I can't stand her. I can't do that. Before they even walk onto stage.
I wonder what that's about.
I don't know.
I feel like there's some kind of beef in the background that we don't know about or something, because they really do go at each other this whole episode.
Well, I think Madelein is going after Chloe from a defensive point because Chloe is coming after her from the jump. As they go on set of Johny sitting there going, hey, Chloe. She responds, oh, hell no.
Yeah, he just wanted a response out of her, period, I think.
It was so antagonizing. Didn't like it. Dylan and Pattiya, they're greeting each other. Dylan says something along the lines of, make sure your boobs are tucked in. You see her kind of give this shaking her head look. That could definitely be edited. I wonder if he was just giving her the Janet Jackson nip slip check.
Well, I thought that maybe he noticed a gap or something and he was just letting her know.
The reason I say that is because later on, we hear him defending somebody who has a sugar daddy. And he's like, I'd take the money. Johny is firing off right from the jump. He says, hey, Luke, no more cake in the vase, right in front of Madeleine. And she says, well, if he's a good boy, I won't have to put cake in his face. They're dogpiling on Madeleine because then Chloe is enough. She tells Madeleine to calm down. After Madeleine tells Luke if he was a good boy, she wouldn't have to put cake in his face. Stay out of this, Chloe. Why are you commenting on it?
It just doesn't make any sense. Why is she coming after her? Why are they going after each other? Unless it's just a huge amount of jealousy.
Madeleine, she just responds by saying, what do you mean calm down? Now, Sean is going to read a question that one of these other cast members has asked. The question for Chloe is, are you still afraid of the gas stove? She is, but she thinks she's a good cook. Madeleine jumps in with, you don't know what you're doing. You can't cook. Again, you never get somebody to calm down by telling them to calm down. A lesson that maybe Sumit needs to learn as well.
It's usually the opposite.
Johny, he agrees Chloe can't cook. It's okay, Chloe. I microwave, which got the new stove and microwave delivered. And I bought a replacement one just like it. Apparently they don't remove it. So I still am without a microwave.
Should.
So hungry. Manon tells Johny she would rather be with someone who can't cook than with someone who cheats.
Mm-hmm.
And then she apologizes for not liking misogynist men. And Johny mansplains what misogynist means and how to say it to Manon. He becomes the definition of misogyny right there in that moment.
Everybody's coming out mudslinging. I'm just waiting on the throwdowns. I mean, he said, do you even know what it is? But she didn't answer.
I wouldn't lower myself to that either. Like, who are you to give me a pop quiz on vocabulary and their meaning?
I know, but
My first grade teacher, it was mansplaining. It was gross.
Then that's what she should have said. She should have said, you don't need to mansplain this shit to me. I know damn well what it is.
She's like, Lauren, you're overthinking this. I'm just here for the mudslinging.
Yeah.
On over to Jenny and Sumit. The question is, Sumit, if you met Jenny as a tourist for the first time in India, would you still fall in love with her? Oh, I'm just this average looking dude. I don't think she would have gone for me. I fell in love with her first.
I thought it was an unusual question. Like, why
they're
that
all
particular
unusual.
question?
Are you afraid
I know,
of the
but
oven?
I mean, it just seemed like a weird one.
Luke and Madeleine. So Luke is back in the States permanently and not wearing his ring. First thing I thought was, I guess that resort didn't work out. Another failed business in the books. Do you think it went down once he kicked out Madeleine, once they ended things? She was the boss, remember?
Yeah. Maybe it did. Of all of the couples, that's the one that got married, but it's also the one that we are not surprised to find out there's no ring anymore.
Not surprised. And TLC, they left us without a question for these two. Robinson says she hasn't seen a relationship crash and burn as fast as Greta and Matthew. They were together for 3 years, but remember, it burned up after 4 days of seeing each other. Do I have amnesia? I don't remember. Besides not making a lot of space for her and telling Greta she smelled when she first arrived. What am I not remembering that Matthew screwed up on so bad?
I don't think he screwed up on anything. You're right. He probably could have made more space for her.
Her friends, the grandmas, are going to come after her.
Right. But Matthew was throwing out anything, trying to make it stick and get her to stay. You can go have the career. I'll stay home with kids and blah, 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 blah. He was willing to do anything.
Their question is, if Greta left a review, what would the stars be for her and Matthew's relationship? Because it feels more like a trial than a real relationship. And she said 4 at first. Matthew's going, 4.5. And then she said it kind of fizzled out to 3. And if it's not 5 stars, then you should leave. Relationships aren't always going to be 5 stars.
That's her expectation. She's going to be highly disappointed in life.
People have problems. If you're around somebody all the time, there's going to be moments where you don't want to be around them. Manon says that she feels like she's home now that she's back on U.S. soil. And Anthony says he feels the opposite. France is home to him now. The question is whether or not Manon still feels like Anthony makes her want to die inside. And she's like, yeah, sometimes. Do you think he's giving her a hard time for working because they need money to support the family?
That's a good possibility.
She seems fed up right from the beginning. You can tell she's at the end of her rope.
She's very frustrated this episode. And she's lashing out at everybody, not just Anthony. I mean, all of the men on this set are targets for her right now.
Even Sean Robinson calls it out. And she says she'll have Anthony's back. She's a ride or die. Now, a lot of this season, you did not like Anthony.
No, even watching just at the beginning with the whole storm thing, he nitpicks until he gets a reaction and then he sits back and plays victim. He antagonizes her. And then when she loses her shit, then he just looks innocent.
I don't disagree.
I honestly don't remember her saying that this season, that he makes her feel like she wants to die inside. Do you?
I don't. I actually don't. It doesn't surprise me. She's very dramatic. She feels things hard and describes them the way she feels them.
Her accent may also add to the fact that people think she's more dramatic. Yeah.
But I don't disagree. The accent, the matter-of-factness, the directness. There tends to be an expectation that women are soft-spoken. They speak gently. Especially, I think, where we live in the South. I'm like Manon. I'm a straight shooter. And you see it. People can be a little bit jarred by that. You always say that's just her personality.
Yeah. I'm very blunt and straightforward, too. And I just say it slower.
But Dylan and Pattiya, the question was, to Dylan, you accused Pattiya of doing inappropriate sexual things with her clients, yet your plumber stripper business is the start to a lot of pornos. Do you think that was hypocritical, double standard? He takes accountability. He's like, yeah, I do. That wasn't fair of me. Now, did you have a question?
I didn't understand what it meant about the porno stuff.
So raise your hand if you don't watch porn. Just kidding. The plumber comes in to fix the pipes, and then the pizza guy delivers the pizza. The police officer comes and arrests Luke.
Gotcha. I understand what you're saying now. I have seen porn. I just haven't seen any with plumbers.
Pattiya tells us that she's not living in Tasmania anymore. At first, I thought maybe she was back in the US, but maybe they've moved somewhere else in Australia. Manon jumps right in on this opportunity to give props to Dylan for giving his lady what she wants instead of just expecting her to live the way he wants her to live. Wink, wink.
Hint, hint.
Anthony. Sean asks Manon if there's any guy she's going to stand up for. Then Johny calls Manon honey.
Kind of been a pet peeve of mine. I don't like men to call me honey, sweetie, things like that, especially if they don't know me very well, because I find it to be a condescending.
Absolutely. It's patronizing. It's misogynistic. So I get her reaction.
Mm-hmm. And I think there's a tone that comes with it. I've had people say it and it not be in a tone that seems like it's insulting or condescending or patronizing. It's just an endearment. That's kind of different.
It goes back to women are supposed to be soft-spoken. And she even said from the beginning, there's these expectations that she feels are placed on her. Then Chloe tells Manon it's going to be a long day. Chloe, take a seat because you're about to get all riled up. Who are you to be telling people to relax, honey?
I kind of took it that the dig was not at Manon. She was saying, hey, look, Johnny's an ass. He's going to be throwing shit like that all day. Relax. It's going to be a long day.
Still.
Yeah.
Who is you to tell anybody to relax?
I know. I understand.
We start with Chloe and Johny. They're not together.
Surprise, surprise.
And we see their breakup scene, which this is the first time Johnny's seen it. I can imagine watching this back would be difficult. We don't watch back the bad moments of our lives. That's something unique to this cast and people on these type of shows. And I am very thankful for this cast. No matter what feelings I've had this season, we get it. This is edited. They will ask you the same questions over and over again until you answer it in a way that they're going to be able to cut up on the editing floor and paste into their own narrative. You don't get paid a lot to be on these shows, but you definitely provide us with lots of entertainment. And I'm very grateful for you being here and entertaining us.
Yes, they've given us lots to talk about. And we actually fall in love with these couples usually.
Chloe says she felt like she did something wrong. And Johny validates that she did not do anything wrong. He was upset because he felt like she was ruining his reputation, taking these screenshots from before they were dating, spreading them around to everybody, and all of this on a pretty small island.
It's on TV, dude. I mean,
good point.
I don't understand why be so angry about that when the whole thing was just recorded for everyone to see.
If you have skeletons, don't go on reality TV. Although I don't think she ruined his reputation anyway. Her friends told us that he had that reputation before her. It preceded her. Even Madelein takes Chloe's side. Chloe's not responsible for Johnny's reputation. His actions are, which I agree with Madelein 100%. It's not Chloe's fault. If he has a bad reputation for running around on women and people find out, well, they wouldn't have found out if he didn't do it in the first place. Maria, she doesn't understand Johnny's I'm a man, you ain't shit, and kick Chloe while she's down, which was one of the most disgusting parts of the last episode.
Yes.
And Anthony, he said he wanted to get his dig in on Johny, and he does. Mm-hmm. He's debunking the men want nudes stereotype that Johny portrayed in this. And then Johny tells Anthony he needs to learn to be a man. It was so misogynistic and gross.
I think that Johnny's just throwing crap out there at this point because everybody's ganging up on him.
Maria says that Johny cheated at least 10 times. Johny says it was only the one time. And it sounds like it's when he texted that woman asking for nudes. So the one time that we saw on camera. Who do you believe?
At this point, her. She said he had a reputation for being a bad boy before Chloe. I mean, even when they were at the restaurant that one night, remember they went out for the, what was it, meatballs or whatever?
Meatball night.
Yeah. They said he cheats all the time.
I kind of believe Johny here.
Really?
He is taking accountability for the breakup. He's taking accountability for cheating.
Right.
He's not with Chloe anymore. And it sounds like we're going to find out maybe in the next episode he's with somebody else. What incentive does he have to lie?
He's very concerned about his reputation. So I think he's only going to own up to whatever he gets caught on.
Luke, he tells Johny, I think he made a mistake letting Chloe go. And this sets off Madelein. She's mad that Luke is interested.
Absolutely. I would love to see Madelein there. I think they would be fist fighting in this area if the two girls were in the same room. That's how bad it is.
We know that they got married and they're not wearing a ring anymore. And Luke is back. From the previews next week, it makes me wonder, was he not faithful? I don't trust this guy.
Yeah. Well, he had the girl that he was texting with, the esposa or whatever crap.
And if he cheated on her, I could see her getting set off that her husband is telling another girl on the stage that she's a good catch. We see new footage. Chloe was sexting a guy. Not only that, but she had been sent $20,000. This was a guy that Chloe says she hooked up with before they met. Johny says, yeah, he wouldn't tell me who he was, which is exactly what happened with the girl that Johny met before they were serious. He didn't tell Chloe who that girl was.
Right.
It's like they're the same person.
I don't know what's going on.
I don't know how she got a guy that she says she wasn't even sleeping with to give her $20,000. Chloe, teach us your ways.
Teach us that sexting. We want to know.
What are you doing, girl? Madeleine comes at Chloe here. Back from when Chloe jumped on Madeleine and said, like, I used my own money. Madeleine pulls out the hypocrisy. Your money, what a joke. Let's see who you really are. Madeleine makes a good point. This story has been about Johny cheating. The whole thing, from climbing trees to cameras and the GPS. But now we're finding out that maybe Chloe was doing the same. The way that Chloe talks to Madeleine, though, Madeleine's asking a valid question here. You made this story about him cheating, but now we're finding out that you did the same.
That's being a hypocrite. I thought it was a fair question. And of course, we wanted to know the answer to it because she has been tracking him and the cameras in the house and all of that crap all season.
Chloe doesn't want to answer it, but Sean Robinson's like, no, you need to answer this. Now, I'm not saying that two wrongs make a right. I think Johny was wrong. And if this did happen before they were official, I don't think Chloe is wrong here either. That's not clear, though. We're just told it was early on. Her answer to Madeleine, it takes a big girl to do this. Addressing it. Do you know what a big girl is? What the heck, Chloe? Must I remind you that Madeleine was out on her own and homeless at 12, supporting herself, and you're still living with your mommy. Do you know what a big girl is? Well, absolutely.
I'm telling you, those girls would tear each other apart if they were in the studio together.
I think Madeleine has every right to be defensive here, the way that Chloe has approached her. The friend doesn't believe it's only this one text because she said Chloe cried to her a lot. Chloe also spent this whole season complaining about something that happened before their relationship. I'm not trusting either of them. Johny says I wasn't going to bring this up. And that's when he drops the $20,000 that some guy was sending Chloe, that there were sexual messages. And Madeleine sees another opportunity. You told me earlier on that I needed to spend my own money because my fiance was paying for stuff. Now, Chloe, Johny, your fiance, I don't even know if they were fiance, he was paying for everything. But on top of that, you had a guy sending you $20,000. Again, calling out the hypocrisy, which this is why I love Madeleine. She's spot on. She's speaking the truth. I feel like Chloe is just slinging attacks. Like, you're a child. You rely on your fiance to support you. But Madeleine's responses are thought out and logical.
Well, some of them are. Some of them aren't. I mean, when she's sitting there just calling her a bitch or whatever.
Well, Johny, he's also disgusted that Chloe doesn't need the money, but she's doing it for the thrill. Apparently, Chloe went over to the U.S. at one point, and when she came back, he saw a message from the guy saying thank you for last night and then sending her money, which Chloe says isn't true.
I believe that if she says that text message was not true, that Johnny's lying. Hey, if you can get somebody to spend $20,000 on you, so be it.
Which is basically what Dylan says. Like, dude, let him pay for the stuff. She's living with you. I got a little feeling of thou doth protest too much because Chloe explains if you're being paid for sex, then you have sex and the next day you get paid. This guy is sending money for nails, hair. First of all, that doesn't have to be the arrangement, Chloe. It doesn't have to be like you have sex, you get paid the next day. In fact, I would probably tell you to take that money up front before you sleep with the guy. You don't want to also play collection agency. But maybe the agreement is, okay, for your nails, I will pay for your hair. I will pay for your living expenses.
It's kind of like mistress behavior. Like how some men take care of mistresses. They'll get them a condo and they put them up in there and then they just visit them whenever.
But the point that Johny is trying to make is, look, I didn't try to ruin her reputation with the screenshots I found, although right now he's telling all. But she tried to ruin mine. And this is where Madeleine takes Chloe's side and makes a lot of sense again. She says, Johny, this is real life. You don't expect for somebody to do for you what you do for them. Good point. This child has wisdom. All right. So Chloe and Johny, we find out that they had a little sleepover and some sex the night of that breakup.
One last hoorah.
Chloe doesn't have any regrets. You know what? Johny can lay pipe. This
Gotta
is
get
why
that
she doesn't.
goodbye sex.
This is why she doesn't have regrets. Maria's in shock. Jenny is like, no, Chloe. And Chloe's like, don't go there. They don't know what good sex is. Anybody that is judging Chloe for this, I have to question if you've had good sex.
I was just sitting here thinking no judgment.
None. You get it, Chloe.
She's banking that last one, the goodbye sex.
One for good time's sake. Dylan and Pattiya says that they have a lot of makeup sex and it's really hot. So they can understand. They're sitting there between the break and Greta and Chloe start having a conversation about how Luke is seemingly infatuated with Chloe. He can't stop staring at her. Chloe tells us he even sent her a message asking if they were going for drinks, which I wonder if that is what's going to trigger Madelein that Luke was talking about walking in.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
Chloe says Madelein's going to murder her. Greta's like, yeah, she's going to assassinate you. And then Chloe goes in the ITMs, I can see why she would be jealous of me. Look, Madelein had doubts about even marrying this guy. I don't know that you really get jealous of the trash man that takes your trash out for you. It's probably hurtful to see.
It probably is hurtful, but she's probably also being like, you can have them sloppy seconds.
In the long run, that's how she'll see it for sure. So then Matthew, Greta is in London. She says she got the work visa and she's planning on staying there forever. We called this like episode 1. I said, she's got to be over there on a work visa. You cannot volunteer on a fiance visa. She isn't taking Hazel back. Hazel has moved on to a house in Oklahoma. We get to see her dragged onto camera with food. As soon as the food's gone, you see the butt walking toward the camera.
See you later.
Now, I forgot about this. She loved Hazel more than Matthew. Isn't it interesting how she was fine to just pick up and leave Hazel as well?
Yeah. Well, Greta, I mean, in Greta's defense, she did say with her new job, she travels a lot.
How does that play into our theory that Greta doesn't want to get close? She even said she usually only has foster animals because she doesn't want to get close. She also says that there's some truth that she loved Hazel more than Matthew. We look over the breakup. It's hard for Matthew to see back. Again, I think it's something that's probably hard for all these couples, reliving their worst moments. What did you think about Matthew saying that the process should have been slower and Greta should have had a conversation with him since it was a long-term relationship?
Yeah, I think he still believes that she didn't give it enough time to adjust because it was only 4 days. And that makes sense.
My initial thought is this isn't really something you want to convince Greta of.
Well,
you don't want to convince somebody they need to be with you. If they want to leave, let them.
Well, I agree with that.
She was questioning this 6 months in advance. We heard that she was talking about kids with him 6 months in advance. This conversation maybe should have started happening 6 months ago. She is just hitting him out of the blue with stuff. Pattiya summed it up beautifully when she said, watching that breakup, her heart broke for Matthew, but she was proud of Greta for knowing to call it quits and walk away.
She knew before she went in. She had made the decision. I don't feel like she went into the show planning to stay in that relationship.
And some of the cast members here said the same thing. We even questioned this during the season.
Yeah, we did.
She said she wanted to give it a shot. If I see him, maybe things will change. She said she felt friendship when she got to the train station. We talked about this. When she got there, Matthew hugged her and told her she smelled. And I said at that point, that rejection started her on a tailspin.
It was an awkward greeting between the two of them all the way around.
It was. Now, what did you think of the grandma crew coming in and ripping Matt a new one?
You know, Matthew is probably one of the nicest men sitting there. He was definitely the kindest. He tried so hard. And I really felt like he's the one that got trashed the worst by everybody.
Greta said that she felt disconnected emotionally and she didn't feel like Matthew comforted her. So what are we saying? That Matthew should have been comforting Greta because she felt disconnected from him?
That's the same as saying he should have been reading her damn mind.
He's not in control of her emotions.
Right.
He doesn't know she's disconnected, like you said, reading her mind because she's not communicating that.
When she mentioned the whole 5-star thing at the beginning about relationships, her expectations are off the chart. She's living in some kind of fantasy world. Nothing is ever going to be perfect. Not a relationship, not your family, not your job, not your house, on and on and on and on. It doesn't exist.
But these friends even having her back and also thinking he should have comforted her because she was sad, because she was disconnected.
Birds of a feather. That's all I can say. They're just as delusional as her.
Then they're complaining that he couldn't even empty a drawer. He was looking for a house. He was showing her around town, taking her on a date in these 4 days. But they felt like she was not prioritized. And then they say that she brought things up and he didn't validate those feelings. He just ignored them. I think he was in shock. Here's a woman who is like, let's name our kids, dropping I don't want kids on him. But they expect him to jump and validate it and not wonder, where is this change coming from?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think he was just in shock. He did not see this coming. It came out of left field for him. He didn't know what to do with any of it. He was probably still processing it by the time she was on the way to London. That's how fast it all happened.
He didn't expect that from the friends. I didn't expect that from the friends. But unlike Cody Brown, he's like, they're her friends. They're going to have her side. Greta thinks that sex indicates how healthy their relationship is, or I guess the lack thereof. And Chloe and Johny disagree. So do Pattiya and Dylan. Pattiya and Dylan, apparently Dylan calls her Thumper because they fuck like rabbits and they really like breakup sex. Matthew, he's moved on. It took about a month for him to process. And then about 5 or 6 months later, he's on a dating app and he meets somebody. They go out for a dinner. It's 5 hours long. He feels like you've really met he said soul connection. It kind of reminds me of twin flame universe language. I'm like, I hope it's not that app. But he's got a house now. He's got a whole new life. Now, Greta asked when he consummated the relationship. It's okay. She misspoke. She meant to say, like, when did you guys start dating?
He did not like it one bit. You could see her face as soon as she found out he had moved on, that she was not happy. Not happy with it.
Luke follows up on this. I knew it. Matthew's not going to answer you, Luke. He's not going to talk about his life with his partner. He's a gentleman.
He is.
Their final words. Greta's like, blah, blah, blah. I can't wait to see you have the family you want. And he says that she's a beautiful soul and she deserves deep love and she'll have it one day. I'm going to give Matthew the win for that final words.
Yeah. He was a gentleman through the whole thing. No trash talking, no bad mouthing, no nothing.
Even in the other couple segments.
He stayed the hell out of it. Yeah. But they all had an opinion for him.
Tia in the break asked Greta if she thinks this predated their breakup. Greta is convinced that no. She says he just needs to be with somebody and just found someone to fill the void. So I think a lot of ourselves, huh?
Well, yeah, she thinks a lot of herself. But the thing is everybody seemed to think that 5 or 6 months was pretty quick. And I didn't think it was fast at all.
Especially since it was long distance. You learn to be very independent. You're not relying on that person for everything. So the change between dating and not, you've already got your own life. I don't think 5 or 6 months is fast in this scenario.
No, I did not either.
No, and Anthony, after summer camp, Anthony got a job as a cook at a fast food restaurant, making $900 a month.
That's not enough to support a family.
Sumit just looks shocked at that amount. Manon, she says he was working all the time. So I'm working now and we're kind of back to why we left. They just have very different financial goals, which can be a huge issue. One of his deal breakers. Through the season, he seemed to give her a hard time for working and not being with their son more. I feel like she has a lot of guilt from that. I was going to run for mayor of the asshole of France. And when Sean says they're going to pull up these videos, I was thinking, I don't know if they watch This American Show, but just in case they don't want to deep dive through the season, Sean pulls up the video for us.
That little tail may not even have cable. Sorry. It was out in the middle of nowhere.
Would you vote for Manon?
I think that she probably can be very charming and inspirational to people. I think if I was in that village, I would probably vote for her.
I don't have enough information here. Chloe says she would vote for Manon, but let's think about her complaints. The town just has a chocolate shop. She wanted more. She wanted maybe a playground for her kid to play and meet friends. Maybe a bakery. As mayor, she may be able to pull new business into the town, revitalize it. So I don't think that her displeasure with the town means she won't be a good mayor. Maybe people in the town want to see change.
You know, I have a feeling with her personality, when she does something, she does it big. And
Absolutely.
I don't think Manon fails very often.
I think she's so afraid of failing, afraid of not being good enough. Nobody else raises their hand except Chloe. Sumit says that Manon isn't polite because she's very direct with how she says things and she needs to be more. And then Anthony chimes in with tactful. Anthony's not even going to vote for her. Just again, not having her back. That grossed me out. And Anthony not taking her back and saying, well, you need to love your country more and work on your mindset before you're going to be ready for mayor.
Anthony just seems to be jumping on the bandwagon of everybody else. And I think it's sickening.
It's exactly what she said. You're not going to have my back. I'm going to have my back. Manon, she says she's gotten to the point where she can't communicate with Anthony. She has to get to that level. She has to be dramatic for him to even pay attention to what she wants or what she's saying.
Yeah, she said
she's exhausted.
She couldn't be the person that he wants her to be, and she can't communicate that to him. And it's frustrating and aggravating for her. I would say Dylan hit it on the head when he said that she acts resentful. And I was thinking, you know, she kind of has a reason to be. He uprooted her from everything, their house, their home, her job. She gave up all of this stuff because he pretty much was saying, we do this or I'm done.
Yeah.
And she's done all of this and she does not get met halfway.
She told him from the beginning, it's not realistic for us to go over there and you be the breadwinner and me stay at home. We aren't independently wealthy. Right. Now they've sold their house. She's gotten rid of her business. They've spent all the money from the equity from their house.
She has to be fuming every time he brings home a $900 check when she knows what she gave up for them to go over there.
And his complaint is her working the hours, but now he's the one working the hours.
And not bringing nowhere near what she was making.
His expectations are not feasible.
Well, he's another one living in a fantasy.
I'm not saying I agree with everything Manon does. Johny says that Manon controls Anthony. And this sends her into this, okay, I'm a bad person. I'm a bad mother. Everybody's dogpiling on me spiral. You don't see Anthony sitting there being like, no, you're being hard on yourself. Nothing supportive.
Well, that's what I was getting pissed about. I was like, he took up for Chloe better than he did his own wife when it came to all of these people ganging up on her. He sat there quietly. He just sat there and let them.
And you know who takes her side? Madelein. Madelein comes through and says, I think she loves Anthony, which I think she does too. She's just fed up. But with her personality and the way that she says what she thinks, it's rubbing people the wrong way. Why does she have to be the way you want her to be? Why does she have to react the way you think she should react? I think Manon has always had expectations of her where people, they judge her and they tell her how she should be, that she's not good enough. And this, I think, is just another situation. Meet Aunt Candace. And this is where I start going, no, what you doing, girl?
What is going on here?
She is going through Anthony's phone. She is going onto his Instagram and blocking his sister from his account. Candace is saying that Anthony is afraid to talk to his family in front of Manon and he has to call them in secret. And Manon agrees. Like, I don't trust him. This is Manon's side of it. He and his family talk poorly about me. And she's afraid that he's going to do it, which he has before. Anthony even tells us that he had to delete a text message with his sister because he was talking bad about her, or she was talking bad about Manon, and he didn't want her to find it. Here's the difference. Manon went to the United States. She relied on herself, independent, started her own company, and Anthony relies on his family to get feedback. One person she would expect to have her back is Anthony, and he's not giving her that support. So I can see the frustration. I wonder what they're saying about her. Like, what? She should be spending more time at home?
He may be speaking with his family so that they can be like, you're right, just to get validation. But honestly, if his family is disrespecting her and he's allowing it into their relationship, that's not good. I can see why she might get upset and do those things. Me personally, I would have been like, look, we need to have a sit down with your family and just get this out in the open.
If you have to monitor somebody's phone, you shouldn't be in it. I don't think she should monitor his phone. Absolutely not.
No.
I don't think she should go on his Instagram and block his family. Look, if she wants to block people who are talking ugly about her, absolutely. She has every right to do that on her account and on her phone. She cannot set boundaries for someone else. Candace says the proof that she has that Manon is monitoring Anthony's phone is she got this really long message with emojis. She's like, he doesn't type that way. And Manon's like, yeah, he was sitting right there. I typed it out and he told me to send it. I bet she looked at it. She saw something not very kind in the phone. And she was like, Anthony, you're going to let these people talk about me like that? And he didn't do anything. And she probably typed in a response and didn't send it and was like, this is something that you should send. This is how you should respond in this situation. And then he was like, okay, fine, send it. Because he doesn't care. He doesn't care to defend her. He doesn't care to send it. Should she have been going through his phone and find the messages? No. And when he says that's all he wants is some privacy so he can vent with his family, yeah, he should have that privacy. But also not a great look to be talking shit about your spouse with your family. Like, at some point, you guys need to go to therapy or realize it's not healthy.
Look, the family is not going to say anything about her unless he is. Once they see that he's disrespecting her, they will go right along and tell him everything that they think about her that's bad.
Now, you could say also that Manon is being abusive here by isolating him from his family and blocking them and monitoring his phone. Yeah, it doesn't look good. Just because I can understand why she's doing this doesn't mean I agree with her doing this.
That's
you can't
true.
Isolate people, and it is abusive. And if you've gotten to the point where you have to lower yourself to that standard, you got to find a way out of it so that you're not abusing your partner.
Yeah, I don't agree with what she's doing. It's not healthy. It's not healthy for anybody. It's not healthy for her. It's not healthy for him. And you know, they've got a kid. You don't want them seeing that.
It's abusive, but it could be reactive abuse because he's withholding support and affection for her.
Well, he's also not afraid to say things like, you're the storm, so I guess I'm the storm chaser since I'm with you. He's not afraid to say insulting things to her or get
like you
antagonistic with, right.
He just does it in such a calm way that people don't clock it.
Right. Yeah, it's something for sure.
It's not healthy. I don't like it. And the way Candace says, look, we just want to be able to talk to him, her perception of this is not good either. And while that's his family,
something's definitely going on.
She's kind of tiptoeing around Manon by saying, we love you too, and we don't want to see divorce. We just want him back in our lives. Even if you want him back in your lives, though, he lives in France now. He's the one who decided to go there to get further from his support system. So I don't know. It's very confusing. What's not confusing is she's at her wit's end. They go in to the last break and Manon, she's done. She's like, I want a divorce. She goes in there. She's trying to get the dress off. Luke is like, all right, well, you can leave. I'm staying. They supported us. I want to support them. Which
Anthony said
backhandedly, that's what I meant. Backhandedly, Manon isn't a great person because she's not going to stay there for the people that stay there for her. She says, why did you make me look bad? Which let's listen to Madeleine. Your actions make you look bad. Unless she meant that my husband doesn't have my back. Yeah,
that's kind of the way I took it.
Chloe comes in to help her and she says, I understand. Like, that's got to be tough. And Greta and Luke are sitting outside like, I did not expect all that. Greta says she knows she would be upset. So it's not coming off even to the people in that tell-all that Luke is this innocent bystander. Luke, though, he's about to say to Greta, should we stop her? And I'm like, what are y'all going to do to stop her?
I don't think they're going to be able to.
What is your plan here? There is no plan. Greta doesn't have the balls to stop her. And Luke's attempt is to say, hey, do you want to stay?
You sure you want to do this?
No, she doesn't want to stay. She's leaving.
Bye.
She wants to get out of there. She's reached the end of her rope. This is what it looks like when a woman's fed up and she doesn't want the cameras in her face. She doesn't want any more of this drama. She went in there knowing that her husband wouldn't have her back and just spent a segment, however long that is, with him proving that. Now, I wonder if this was the same as day one, because on day one, when we see her come in, I mentioned she had on that jean jacket and that jean skirt. When she leaves, she has on a 2-piece sweater set that's black and white. I wonder if she was leaving a different day and that's the outfit she had worn in.
That makes sense.
We do see her bringing in a lot of clothes, but I would assume those would be different options for what to wear to the filming, like winter in the studio with the lights. So that's it for this episode. Final thought.
I think we covered everything. I can't wait to see part.
I'm so excited. Next week, we will be back for part 2, Channel Surfers. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We will be back Friday with Traitors. See you then. Bye.
Let's ride.
All right, cool.
Tune in, don't delay.